Hello, I'm Jane Dutton with a wrap of the week's news.
This is Eyewitness News.
The story of Joshlin Smith and the fact her mother might have sold her for 20,000 rand has dominated the news. Joshlin's mother, Kelly Smith, her boyfriend, Joaquin Apollos, and two other suspects, Steveno van Rijn and Pumza Sigaka, were charged with human trafficking and kidnapping in the Vredenburg Magistrates Court. Joshlin has been missing for 18 days now after disappearing from her family home in Middelpost, Saldanha Bay. Outside the court, hundreds of people gathered, wielding placards in support of justice for the missing girl.
Because at this stage, we do not have a child. Our ultimate goal is to find the child so that a closure can be done. And as we pray that we still want to find that child alive, we make an appeal to everyone, every citizen, every person in this country.
The matter has been postponed to the 13th of March for the accused to make a bail application. The state added two more charges in the murder case of rapper aka Kiernan Forbes and his manager, Tabela Motswane.
They have all the immediate suspects and they can work with that to a point where, not only do they get closer to convictions for those found guilty, but also more information will come out that hopefully gets us closer to the truth in terms of, who's behind it. It is not going to be quick, but I'm prepared myself not to expect things to happen quickly.
5 of the 7 men accused of killing the rapper and his manager appeared in court, and Nhlanhla Mabaso was there.
Shortly after the court proceedings started this morning, and with some of the accused having made changes in their legal representation, the National Prosecuting Authority added 2 more counts of money laundering in the high-profile case. State Prosecutor Advocate Elvis Cwega says the first count is only for Mziwe Themba Kwabeni, the alleged hit organizer. The prosecutor added that the other additional count is for the other 4 accused. The matter returns to court next week, Thursday, for bail application. Nhlanhla Mabaso, Eyewitness News, Durban.
2 men also appeared briefly in a Manzini Eswatini court. The state prosecutor made an application to have the 4 cell phones found on them when they were arrested sent to South Africa as evidence in the matter. The extradition case has been postponed until next week, Tuesday. International stories that have led the news as the war on Gaza enters its 6th month. More children are dying of starvation. The International Court of Justice acknowledged South Africa's urgent request for it to intervene in what it fears is an impending famine there. In an application filed with the ICJ, South Africa is now asking the court to either indicate further provisional measures or to modify the original ones. The country again says Israel is breaching the Genocide Convention, this time by starving Palestinians. Also, the UN says there are reasonable grounds to believe it has documents of Hamas carrying out sexual attacks on October the 7th. Also, talks are underway to secure a 40-day ceasefire in time for Ramadan, which begins early next week. In the US, Donald Trump and Joe Biden will compete for the country's top job. After Trump stormed through Super Tuesday Election Day securing support, his only competitor, Nikki Haley, pulled out of the race. Polls have consistently shown Trump beating Biden. The US slapped fresh sanctions on Zimbabwe's President Emmerson Mnangagwa, his wife, and 10 senior government officials for alleged human rights abuses and corruption, but scrapped a broad sanctions order against Zimbabwe, which was first introduced in 2003.
The United States and all of our partners all across SADC remain concerned about the trajectory of Zimbabwe. We all want people of Zimbabwe to live in a free, prosperous, democratic nation that addresses the concerns for its people. And quite frankly, the fact that so many Zimbabweans have voted with their feet to leave Zimbabwe to come to places like South Africa demonstrate that they also have profound concerns about the direction of their own country.
Staying with politics, here is Tsidi Madia on what the Freedom Front Plus manifesto means.
FF Plus launched its manifesto this past weekend. The things that I took away from that manifesto launch: race politics matter to the FF+. It will never let go of race politics. It supports the Cape exit, city plan. What nonsense, on whose country, with whose land, but they support that. They say people in the Western Cape have the right to self-determine. Again, I ask, with whose country, whose land? Mother tongue education matters to Freedom Front Plus. I think there's pluses and minuses to this. They also speak about farm killings, as expected. FF Plus believes it's more dangerous to be a farmer than it is to be a police officer in our country. I call their bluff, at least if the current stats are concerned. The current stats show 22 police officers were killed in this current period versus 107 people from the farming community. When you look at that 107 stat, it's only 3 farmers that were affected. Every death is a problem, every murder is a problem, but let's not lie about the figures. Lastly, affirmative action and BEE, as you've guessed, they don't want it, very much like the Democratic Alliance. Read their manifesto, ewn.co.za.
Biggest football game of the season takes place on Saturday. Kaizer Chiefs take on Orlando Pirates.
The Soweto Derby takes centre stage on the South African sporting calendar this weekend, with Orlando Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs as the main attraction. While the DStv Premiership title is out of reach for both clubs, the game is still expected to bring the country to a standstill for 90 minutes, with eyes across the length and breadth of South Africa glued to the action at the FNB Stadium. 1 point separates Pirates in 5th on the table from Chiefs in 6th, and the winner will climb up to 2nd place and occupy the crucial CAF Champions League qualifying spot, if only for the time being. The Buccaneers are hoping to complete their first league double over their arch rivals in 15 seasons, but come into this fixture with just 1 win from their last 5 league games after their 1-1 draw with Cape Town Spurs in midweek.
It's much more than 3 points. It's one of those games that will put everybody together, fans, team, players, everything. You know? So it's a nice opportunity after a good performance yesterday to show what we are capable to do on the day. So I cannot see any better opportunity like this one.
As for Amakosi, despite their early exit in the Nedbank Cup, they've been more consistent in the league, having conceded just 1 goal in their last 8 games. A sold-out crowd is expected at Soccer City, and the 90,000 fans in attendance will be hoping that one of their favourites will steal the show. Kick-off on Saturday is at 3:30. Mawande Mateza, Eyewitness News Sport.
And that's it from me and the team. See you again on Monday.
Eyewitness News, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, log on to ewn.co.za or ewn.mobi.